Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at an ancient, genuinely captivating tale from our source material that actually hides a secret blueprint for modern wealth. It's this dark, allegorical fairy tale, but it teaches incredibly practical financial independence. I'm absolutely pumped to unpack this for you.
So imagine a kingdom where having absolute power comes with a terrifying, non-negotiable price tag. Our source poses a really brilliant question. What if escaping a literal death sentence required the exact same mindset, the exact same steps as achieving financial freedom? To figure that out, we have to dig into the tragic history of a place called the Kingdom of Andahar.
Part 1. The Curse of Andar. Let's look at this dark history.
Our source brings us to Undar. Now, this was once a super wealthy land, fertile soil, rivers packed with fish, but it got cursed by a dark pact during an absolutely brutal famine. Things were so bad the lore says mothers were literally boiling leather just to feed their starving kids. So to survive, the kingdom's elders struck a deal with a powerful demon named Kalbandin, and this pact, it created a totally twisted cycle. Basically, a randomly chosen king gets 5 years of absolute unlimited luxury. Sounds great, right? But on the very first day of the 6th year, that king is dragged away and banished to the jungle of death with nothing. No weapons, no food, a place no one ever returns from.
You can imagine how this played out. For generations, kings lived under this absolute cloud of doom. Because their gruesome end was 100% guaranteed, they adopted this incredibly destructive mindset. They basically decided to rule with total arrogance and party like there's no tomorrow. They hoarded wealth, oppressed the citizens, and blew everything on lavish excesses. They were essentially living like prisoners on death row.
Moving on to Part 2. The Unconventional King and Sammy's Rise to Power.
Everything changes here. The way they picked a new king was by drawing a random name from a dry well. And this time, a poor but really thoughtful young guy named Samir, who goes by Sammy, gets drawn. A complete nobody suddenly thrust onto the throne. But Sammy immediately broke the mold. I mean, while the old kings demanded these massive, lavish banquets on day one, Sammy rejected all of that for just simple food. Instead of throwing wild parties, he actually brought in the kingdom's financial experts to learn everything he possibly could about the economy.
Part 3. Building the New Kingdom. Let's break down Sammy's master plan.
Sammy knew the clock was ticking. He had exactly 5 years. No extensions, no mercy. So, instead of living in terror, he enacted the secret, highly calculated master plan. He decided, I'm not dying in the jungle of death. I'm going to transform it. In year 1, he got total clarity, meticulously assessing the exact treasury numbers. Year 2, he secretly starts sending small groups of workers every single day to clear that deadly jungle. By year 3, he's building skill training centers, teaching people farming, blacksmithing, construction, and sending those skilled workers out. By year 4, the jungle settlement is actually producing its own food and tools, setting up independent trade with Andahar. And boom, by year 5, a completely new, thriving kingdom was ready and waiting.
So when that dreaded 5th year finally wraps up, something completely shocking happens. Instead of crying and begging, Sammy walks toward the jungle of death with a massive smile on his face. Only one loyal follower, Arjun, even dared to go with him. But when they crossed into the jungle, they didn't find death. They found a beautiful, welcoming new kingdom named Moksha. An amazed Arjun asked how he prepared for the end, and Sammy dropped this powerful quote. I didn't start the end, I started a beginning, which most saw as an end.
Part 4. 7 Financial Freedom Lessons for Real-World Wealth. This is where it gets highly practical. See, this isn't just some fantasy story to entertain us. The source material reveals it's actually a meticulously crafted masterclass on building financial independence. Let's break down the hidden mechanics behind Sammy's success. There are 7 distinct financial lessons we can extract here to escape our own financial curses. 1. Achieving clarity of numbers. 2. Living below your means. 3. Prioritizing income creation over just hoarding cash. 4. Building multiple income sources. 5. Valuing skills over status. 6. Harnessing the incredible power of compounding. And 7. Making a strict 5-year commitment.
It's fascinating how every plot point maps directly to financial reality. Assessing the treasury, that represents getting absolute clarity on your own finances. Refusing those wild banquets is living below your means to free up capital. Sending out different types of workers, like blacksmiths and farmers, perfectly mirrors creating multiple streams of income.
And sending just a few workers every single day, that translates to the massive, undeniable power of compounding actions over time. I really want to pause on lesson number 5 for a second, because it is incredibly profound. Sammy prioritized building skill training centers because he fundamentally understood this concept. A king's status? It's temporary. It vanishes into thin air at the end of 5 years. But useful skills? Those acquired capabilities provide permanent leverage. You can carry them into literally any new environment to build sustainable wealth.
Which brings us to part 5, real-world wealth application. Let's talk about building your own moksha. So how exactly does the source material suggest we actually apply these allegorical lessons to our modern everyday lives? Well, it all starts with the number 5, a rigid 5-year commitment window. Just like Sammy had absolutely no choice but to transform his life in 5 years, you have to treat this timeline as non-negotiable. And the source points out that this exact 5-year framework was successfully used in real life by Grant Sabater. He's the author of the well-known book Financial Freedom, to go from basically having zero money to achieving total financial independence.
Now, to pull this off within 5 years, you need the right knowledge. The creator strongly recommends studying foundational texts, things like The Millionaire Fastlane and The Compound Effect. But hey, if you struggle to sit down and read full books, no worries at all. There's an alternative path, utilizing video book summaries for much faster, more digestible learning.
To help facilitate this exact type of fast-track learning, the source reports offering access to a curated summary board. And get this, for just 99 rupees a month, people can access detailed summaries of over 70 different books focused specifically on finance, discipline, and long-term thinking.
This leads to a really fascinating mindset shift proposed by the source. Instead of viewing that 99 rupees as just another fee, frame it as an SIP, a systematic investment plan, but for your mind. By consistently investing just small amounts of time and money into your financial education every single month, you unlock the exponential knowledge returns that you desperately need to escape your own personal curse of Antar.
Which brings us to a final, deeply provocative question for you to chew on. The next 5 years of your life are going to pass regardless. Time doesn't stop. So, are you going to spend those 5 years living like a doomed king, just hoarding and avoiding the future? Or will you take daily, compounding actions starting today to build your own kingdom of moksha? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep building your freedom.